No, not at this time, Your Honor.
Fantastic. We are here today
It's like
to
playing
examine the criminal charges brought against
Where's Waldo?
Princess Elena. Princess Elena, can I please have you step forward?
Hello.
Hello. Are you aware of the nature of today's proceedings and the charges being brought forward against you today?
I sure am.
All right. Today, you face several charges. To the charge of 1 count of treason, how do you plead?
Not
Yeah, I love
guilty.
Turner, man.
To the charge of 1 count of accessory to terrorism, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
To the charge of 1 count of embezzlement, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
To the charge of reckless endangerment, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
And to the charge of 1 count of conspiracy, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Nope.
Looking good, Opal. Looking good.
Is he in timeout?
Yeah, he's gonna be taking a moment. Yeah, poor guy.
Okay.
Very well. Thank you, Elena. Let the record show Princess Elena has pled not guilty to all charges. I believe that concludes pre-trial matters, unless there's anything else we need to discuss.
Nothing from the state.
Ready to proceed.
Wow, that was efficient. Thank you both. All right, prosecution, begin with your opening statement.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, today we're here for a trial regarding treason, terrorism, and embezzlement, and 2 other misdemeanor charges. Throughout this trial, you will hear testimony and evidence that supports each of the charges listed. I am sure everyone present has questions and concerns regarding this case. Today, we will get answers. It is important to remember and prove that everyone is beholden to the laws of San Andreas, irrespective of their positions or authority. Those with authority and power over citizens are the ones that should be bound to the law tighter than anyone else.
All right. Braun?
Your Honors, ladies and gentlemen assembled here at the court, we are here today, quite frankly, to endure a vast waste of time and resources to pursue an unbridled and unchecked act of political lawfare against an upstanding, reputable mayor of Blaine County who has done nothing but offer to help Blaine County become a better place than it was when she found it. We will find today that each of the allegations presented against my client today are unfounded, uncorroborated, and only supported by the uncorroborated words of convicted terrorists who have done nothing but show intent to destabilize our governments and institutions, attack government officials, and be deceptive and evil in every which way imaginable. And also supported by opponents and rivals of the defendant. We will find conflict at every corner of this investigation and this prosecution, and we will find that every assertion made based on the evidence presented today without any sort of material fact to back it up. It is all conjecture based on a desperate scrape of my client's text messages and phone records, and the invasion of her privacy that constitutes, and assembled piecemeal based on disparate, conflicting, and unsupported information.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to read those.
That the prosecution intends to shape into something of substance regarding conduct that is completely within the guidelines and legislation governing the actions of the mayor in regards to state and county financing, in regards to transactions and logging thereof, in regards to seeking compensation from government bodies for things specific to Blaine County. Everything that the Princess Elena, mayor of Blaine County, has done and will be found to have done today was in accordance with the law and in accordance with the duties outlined in her position. And to say otherwise is to take the word of terrorists and to give it more credibility than it should ever be due. So Mayor Princess Elena is here today on her time to be transparent with the public and to this court and to clear up any questions that either may have regarding the allegations against her today. These false accusations will be cleared up beyond a reasonable doubt, and my client will be found not guilty of all of these charges. But it is worth noting
Oh my God, it's not
that
over.
in this action, the prosecution has already achieved their goal
I literally already.
disrupt
I am already.
the re-election campaign
Michael.
of my client
It's
and tie her
It's
up
like the first time I watched
in
the movie
legal
Titanic.
limbo
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that
You
Junior
think the
Huntley,
boat
key
sinks, the
witness,
movie's over, but
can
it just
benefit.
keeps going.
The
Oh, it
corruption
kinda just-
here
it's like
is
a-
the
it's like a
corruption of the
cycle, yeah,
prosecution,
yeah.
not of the defense.
I got 50 grand that 2 of these stick. What do you think,
Thank you,
Mike?
Braun. And thank you, Johnson, for joining us.
she's your boss, Danger. What the fuck?
Oh, sorry.
All right, we'll be moving
Oh,
into
wait,
the
wait.
first witness from the prosecution, yeah? David Sopel Price?
Your Honor, the order presented on the docket has been changed. The
Here he
first
goes,
witness
oh,
will
fuck, I
actually be Justice Falcon.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
fantastic.
Oh fuck, bro.
Do you want me to move?
Aoife, would you be able to swear them in, or do you need a moment?
You grab me, Adrian.
No, I can, Your Honor.
Do you want me to grab
Thank you very much.
No.
Would you please raise your left hand?
Can you guys hear them?
Have I gone deaf or?
No.
Okay.
Alright. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under pains and penalty of perjury? So help you, Curvy Elephant.
Yeah.
Witness has been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you, Aoife. Wes, when you're ready.
Justice Falconer, do you or did you regularly participate in legislative authority meetings?
Yes.
During one of those meetings, did Mayor Elena make a comment that caused concern for you?
Yes.
What was that comment?
Can't get the quote exactly, but it was basically along the lines of, well, Tree Pass don't make money, and I sold them the gas station.
Why did that comment cause concern for you?
Because she explicitly stated she sold a gang a gas station, and she knows the financial workings of a gang.
And what actions, apologies. Did the DOJ pay in advance on DOJ costs to Blaine County?
We did, yes.
And what was the amount of that advance?
$16 million.
And what was the agreement for this advance?
That it would cover the newly increased salaries that the mayors are allowed to give. And it would be, it was estimated to be for 4 weeks, and we would, assess at that 4-week mark.
At that 4-week mark, did you assess how it was going?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yep. I think Princess was the one that initiated it, but we did, yeah.
And
Oh shit.
during
okay,
that
uh,
assessment, did you
okay,
review
okay,
Blaine
okay.
County bank records?
Danger, can you shut the
Yes,
fuck up?
because it was initially said that around
Okay.
14.9 million was spent, and that didn't seem right. So I looked and seen that intentionally or not, Princess had included the $3.5 million the Blaine County Sheriff's Office had earned in fines that month.
Did you bring that up to Mayor Elena?
I did through text.
And what was her response?
It was, oh, yeah, you're right. And then not much after that, she then said, so theoretically the DOJ has made 3 times that, and I said, yep.
And when we look at the 3 things you've listed, the statement made in the legislative meeting, the advance payment made, which gave you cause to look at the Blaine County bank records, and the potential error in the amount, did that cause you to do anything?
Yeah, I looked more at the Blaine County records just to see just, where the money was going, because that 60 million should have been earmarked for DOJ costs, not.
I hope
current
Wes
events.
asks, like,
I just
how
wanted
does
to
it
make sure
compare to
everyone
Los
was on the
Santos
up and up.
County?
And when
Is-
you looked at the bank records, what were your findings?
A big lack of budgetary skills. A lot of loss in the Blaine County account.
Okay. And what was the total amount of loss to your oh, actually, strike that. Apologies.
Yeah, I do.
Are you aware of the Blaine County Account Authority legislation?
I am aware, yeah.
Can you explain the requirements that law has for valid transactions?
Yeah, there are, I think, 7 different reasons why funds could be allocated from the Blaine County account. And when that is done, so it needs to be done a certain way in terms of like what is written at the bank. I think it needs to say what it's for, any supplemental material, which I interpret that to mean like contracts or business plans or something like that, and then the name of the person doing it.
Did all of the transactions you reviewed meet those requirements?
No.
And can you explain the consequences listed in that same law?
It says potential investigation, which has clearly happened, potential criminal charges, which is why we're here right now, and potential impeachment, which is why we'll probably be here next week.
Oh!
Based on the data you reviewed in your calculations, approximately how much money has Blaine County
Oh my
lost
God!
since Princess Elena took office?
15-ish million. It's hard to tell because we can't know the balance from when she took over. But roughly 15-ish million. Give or take a few.
All right. As someone who manages a government account, do these transactions and the pattern they show cause you any concern?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
I mean, the county having money to fund itself is pretty important. The I guess lack of consistency in the way the transactions are handled is also concerning. Buying things at a certain price and then selling them at a loss when the county is in dire straits seems odd. I can't speak to the intent, but it doesn't look right.
And do some of those transactions state for BBL?
Yeah.
And what is BBL?
Cosmetic surgery.
Recently, did you receive a FOIA request from Sergeant Doc Masters of the LSPD?
Yes,
Was it related to BBL?
it was.
Okay, and what were your findings when you fulfilled the FOIA as you're obligated to?
There were no findings. There is no reference to BBL in legislation or reports or businesses that I could find.
Wait! What?
Almost access to anything of anyone in the city, so yeah.
Is it strange to you that the properties were bought and sold to specific persons instead of being offered in an auction or other public forum?
Yeah, it was strange when they were...
Objection, speculation.
Rebuttal, Your Honor. It's not speculation. He handles a government account the same way she does. I'm asking a sitting public official of, is it strange that
Wes
with
is
official
already
government money,
damn.
you purchase properties, sell them to specific people instead of offering it to the general public? That's not speculation. He's not speculating on why she did anything or how she did it.
All right.
He's stating his own.
Wes is
Objection
right.
leading.
That I am a bit more entertained by. I would like to hear a rebuttal on that.
I'm withdrawing that objection and just objecting to leading.
Okay.
The rebuttal, Your Honor, it's not leading. The question was literally, is it strange to you that the properties were bought and sold to specific persons instead of being offered in an auction or other public forum? At no point do I lead him to an answer. I'm simply asking for an answer.
Okay. Well, was there anything strange to you about these transactions? Would be less leading. Would be my rebuttal to that.
But to his point, though, Wes's question is not leading, especially inherently by just setting up the question the way he did.
Surprised
He
he
was
can
able to
talk with his
establish
cock
that
so
Justice
deep down his
Falconer
own
is,
throat.
in fact, a leading member of a department who oversees a budget. He would have knowledge on this, and his opinion on it is completely valid. So your objection is overruled. Continue, Wes.
All right, Justice Falconer, just to remind you, the question is it strange to you that the properties were bought and sold to specific persons instead of being offered in an auction or other public forum?
It's strange because I don't have the full context. The full context could make it worse or make it better.
If there is a selection process involved in this, which is not available or foilable by the public, is that a concern for you as a sitting government official?
100%.
Can you explain why?
If you have a selection process and you don't give it the criteria or the reasons for your selection, then you might as well not have the selection process and just give it to who you prefer. If you're not being transparent with that process, then what's the point in it existing?
Okay. Are you aware that Benicio Delgado is listed as a member of the Blaine County Mayoral Cabinet?
I believe his title is Prince.
Yep,
Consort.
and that's what makes it worse. I didn't learn this till afterwards.
Benicio Delgado's criminal history?
I know that he has one, but not the specifics.
Okay. If someone has a violent felony record, does that conflict, and they hold a government position, does that conflict with the ACR and impeachment legislation and or the precedent set by Justice Grayson regarding Jose Gerardo?
Objection, facts not in evidence, and also that matter is still before the courts. That hasn't been resolved.
Your Honor, I'm not sure what the facts not in evidence are. We're referring to a public piece of legislation available to any citizen who checks the MDT.
Okay, you're also referencing a writ of mandamus that I put up 2 days ago that you haven't admitted to evidence.
I wouldn't take credit for that
Motion,
writ of
the
mandamus.
objection stand.
Yeah.
Okay, Your Honor, I will rephrase the question. If someone has a violent felony record, does that conflict with the ACR impeachment legislation, Justice Falconer?
I don't know if conflict is the best word, but someone having a violent felony or any felony for that matter does make them inherently impeachable by the grounds laid out in the legislation you referenced.
Okay. And now I want you to think back to the Muir Park Dam bombing state announcement. Do you recall that?
I do.
Can you explain the process that resulted in that state announcement being released about the Muir Park Dam bombing attempt?
Yeah. Nino asked if any justices were around because it was an emergency. I was the only one available. He explained there was a bomb at the dam at Mirror Park and it could, potentially flood a huge part of Los Santos. He wrote up a public safety announcement. I reviewed it, gave it the thumbs up, and then it was sent out.
Okay. At any point were you or any other government officials made aware of the specific facts or the perpetrators during the attack and during that process of the announcement being posted?
I wasn't. I was just told there's a bomb at the dam.
Okay. All right. We are switching topics once again, Justice Falconer. Apologies. Are the mayor's offices able to approve business applications to take
Yeah, what
over
up, Moose?
state-owned businesses?
Oh god.
No,
Who owns the island surrounding San Andreas?
the state.
Is this clearly known and available to government officials and the public?
Yeah, it's one of the few explicit things in the Constitution.
Can a mayor's office sell, transfer, or otherwise do anything with state-owned land?
Not on their own.
What about state-owned businesses?
No.
Are you aware of a business application approved by the BCMO to transfer control of Chwater to a citizen of San Andreas?
I am aware.
In that application, was it framed as a purchase of Chwater or a transfer of ownership?
I believe a transfer of ownership. The business application.
This is
said
way
that
more
Twitter
than
was
I realized
unclaimed, it
existed.
doesn't have an owner, which is, factually incorrect. It's owned by the state.
Does a mayor's office have the inherent authority to approve an application such as this for a state-owned business?
As the law is set up right now, no.
And would you consider Chwater to be a state-owned telecommunications utility?
Yes.
Nothing further at this time, Your Honor?
All right. Ron,
Oh
you're up.
my god.
All right, Justice Falconer. Just have a few things to cover with you.
Mhm.
Okay. I would just like to clarify for the courts: is it currently illegal or punishable by law for someone with a criminal record to own and operate a business?
I do not believe so.
And to your knowledge, are there folks with criminal records currently running businesses in this city?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, not in Los Angeles.
County?
Why then would you
It's only Blaine County, yeah.
find what
Hmm.
utterance
Is
you
it?
think you heard strange in that meeting?
It was the use of the name of the gang versus an individual. It's the difference, I sold it to Flippy versus I sold it to Hydra.
Okay, but again, if there was nothing unlawful about such a business ownership, then why would that then be strange?
You're selling to a criminal organization
knew
versus
the-
an
See, well,
individual.
they
Hello?
say that she knew the financial workings of a gang, which tends to then lead to the knowledge of criminal activity.
Okay,
This is
why
hard to
why
watch,
would
Michael.
that be the case
This is,
necessarily?
I don't know, man.
Well, considering they're a criminal
I
street
don't know what
gang,
to do, bro.
by the definition of what a criminal street gang is, typically the vast majority of income comes from crime, and to then be aware of that and not do anything about it as a government official raises a few eyebrows.
So, in your wisdom as an appointed,
This is
justice of the
actually
courts,
impressive
what you're
questions.
saying is, if two people are making a transaction and one person knows whether or not the other person can afford something, that means that they are intimately familiar with all of their criminal dealings?
No.
Okay, but you would suspect that.
Yeah, but that's
I would
beside the
suspect it
point.
based off the statement of they don't.
That's
make money.
beside the point. You're selling to a criminal
And Nedry wants to sign
Fair
organization
enough.
willfully.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me
check
see
this.
something.
Check this
All right.
twat out.
Okay, yeah. Let me.
Now I want to get
Can't retweet
into
anything, because
your
you know,
personal dealings
how it is.
with the princess again on the reimbursements.
no.
I would just like to
you didn't
clarify,
just-
I guess, what exactly you found most concerning about the
Oh,
way
that
she
hit,
handled the
Michael.
budget?
That hit is not going.
Because there was a discrepancy. Which anyone can make a mistake, and no one's perfect. So if there was one discrepancy,
Wait, but
fine, do you find a pattern of such
What's Opal
discrepancies
doing?
or
Fucking
irregularities
standing
in,
over.
in
Oh, that's
this
Yui.
paperwork
Oh,
and these
shit.
dealings?
Oh. Oh,
No,
never
not a pattern. Just the the one that was brought up, the 14.9.
Oh,
versus
man.
11.35
I mean,
million.
it hit pretty good.
That made me sort of, look just to double check.
It hits, but I will
But
argue
in terms
that
of how getting the numbers wrong consistently, no, that's not been the case.
not.
And
I
how
wouldn't
long
have
have you
put
been
party on it.
overseeing the budget of Blaine County in the
crazy
capacity that we're discussing?
Yo, good shit, Michael. Good shit.
Since
Oh,
Good shit, Michael.
Michael.
That's
Okay.
right.
You
Have
like
you
that,
ever known
Opes?
Blaine County to not operate at a deficit?
Hmm. I think under Pred minus the 13 million that he stole, they were about break even. And maybe under Mumbles is more reserved, whereas Princess is more free with her spending.
Okay.
But I couldn't say, were they in the red, were they in the black? I can't say for sure.
Okay. And again, you said that that she came to you to discuss this discrepancy and to clear it up, correct?
She brought up the, it had been 30 days since the 16 million had been transferred. That's when we, said we'd look at it again. She said, it's 14.9 million. I was like unsure about that, so I double checked. I looked to see how many fines the Blaine County Sheriff's Office had brought in, see if that lined up with the fines listed in the sliders. It did, so she brought up the initial assessment, I brought up the discrepancy.
Okay. And in your opinion, did she explain the discrepancy to your satisfaction?
I mean, yeah, it seemed like a mistake that anyone could have made. Whether or not I can't say if it was intentional or not, so I didn't have anything more to go on.
Okay. And you'll have to forgive me. I'm not an economist. Was the discrepancy, the missing money or the surplus of money, was that accounted for?
Yeah. So at the 4-week period, we had spent around 11.35 million in terms of DOJ costs for Blaine County. It was originally said as 14.9, but that was including the income that the BCSO had earned from fines that shows up in the section of the sliders that is under the DOJ part.
Okay. And just one last question.
Mhm.
When is the last time that you purchased a private plane?
When's the last time I've never purchased a plane?
Object in relevance?
Interesting. You already answered your.
I don't get it.
Answer. Yeah, but okay.
I don't get it. What?
Michael,
Guy's fucking weird.png.
wanna go buy a plane after this?
Sure.
Am I tripping,
I-
or was that like not at all in scope?
I don't know. Did he just say? Did you? I'm so confused what that meant.
Yeah, spend the last
He's not allowed to have money. Like that's not the point of any of this.
I mean, but also Wes didn't ask him about his own spending.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you.
What?
Nino, when's the last time you bought a hot dog? You piece of shit.
I do buy it. I buy from other people's stalls.
How fucking dare you?
Me.
What
You
I
fucking disgust me,
I
man.
support every stall, whichever one's open. Sometimes I
Dare
buy
you.
with more than
How
one.
dare you.
Marshall Barrett right now. You're gonna have so many fucking reports on you.
Marshall
Bro,
Barrett
I'm
is
gonna start
funny.
robbing
This
banks
guy.
in 10 days. Watch out. Now I'll be like everyone else, and then we'll run for mayor again. I'll be like,
All right. Any redirect from prosecution?
Briefly, Your Honor.
All right, brilliant. Come on up.
Justice Falconer, defense counsel asked you about a pattern.
Yep.
What is a pattern defined legally in our state?
I don't think it explicitly is, but to me, a pattern I'd say at least 3 instances. 3 could be a pattern.
And how many of the transactions you reviewed didn't have the correct documentation?
May I refer to the evidence?
I'm fine with
Yo,
that, Your
Wes
Honor.
is really good.
Yeah, I don't have no issue with that.
Wes is someone I could see working a really good case with either Nino or Brian.
Let me rephrase this question just in the interest of time. Justice Falconer, would you say more than 3 transactions did not have the proper
Yes.
documentation?
Yes, I would.
Say more than 6.
Okay. And earlier when we discussed the instances that made you take a closer look at the county records, can you name those instances for us?
One would have been the comment about tree pass in the legislative authority meeting. One would have been the, the 14.9 million versus 11.35 million. And then after that, it would have been the discussion around TOC pay and discussion about if the reimbursement was going to continue as an advance or if it will be paid retroactively.
And that's 3 instances, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And then, give me 1 second, Your Honor. There was one more thing I wanted to redirect on. What were Braun's questions, do you remember? For whose? Braun's, the jet thing through me.
Michael.
Alright, he was he asked about the money, if there was any other discrepancies, if other people have they always operated in a deficit.
Right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep.
Answer my message.
All right. Last question, Justice. Well, let me ask you a question, Justice Falconer.
Mhm.
If we removed the property spending losses, would that make up for either the entirety or the vast bulk of the deficit that it appears Blaine County has been running?
It would be a decent chunk.
And are event grants also regulated by the Blaine Account Authority legislation?
I believe so. Let me just double check. Yes.
From your recollection of the records, would you say that it is likely that when we add the property expenditures to the event expenditures under Mayor Elena, that it comes out to roughly around 20 million?
I can't confidently say.
Oh, no worries. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.
Someone hold my hand
Will
when
the
I have to
witness
go up
be
there. I'm
marked for
scared.
recall?
Not from the prosecution, Your Honor.
It's okay. We'll settle down.
All right. Thank you, Justice Falconer. You may step down.
Oh, can you mute
Your
your
Honor,
fucking phone, dumbass?
Yeah,
God,
okay,
sorry.
Please call your next witness because I have no idea where your list is at
Listen,
right now.
he's
Yep,
doing
no
more work
worries.
than
Your
anyone
Honor,
in that
the
office for
people called
for
Junior
weeks.
Huntley to the stand.
Oh my god, when are they gonna call me so I can get summons right now? I need a drink, man. Can they fucking call me?
What? Yo!
You're the next witness. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Huntley.
Thank you.
Ethan.
I wasn't aware that you
Please do
heard.
the
I'm
honor.
sorry.
Hurry.
Yeah.
Can you pass this to Ava?
Could you raise your left hand for me, please?
Yeah.
Only doctors can. I can see if
Do
I
you
can do
swear to tell
something.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under
Hold
pains
on, let
and
me-
penalties of perjury? So
No,
help
I
you,
actually don't.
Nikita.
I'll try, but I don't think. Hold on.
The witness has
Let
been
me
sworn in,
step
Your Honor.
Wait,
you
why
very
is he
much.
sitting over there?
All right, when you're ready, prosecution.
All right, Mr. Huntley. My first question for you is: do you currently work for a mayor's office?
I do.
And
I
what
should
is
call
your role
Turner
in
out on
mayor's
that.
office?
I
Interesting
handle
where
a lot of the business things for Los Santos County.
Would that include approving business applications and reviewing them?
It would.
Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna change to a different topic first,
Murphy
and we'll
tried
come
it
back
with
to
that
that.
plain
Okay.
question.
Did you attempt to purchase an island from Blaine County?
Yes, I did.
Who specifically did you attempt to purchase that island from?
Princess Elena.
Can you explain to me how that process went?
Yep, no problems. I approached Princess as I wanted to create something called Barry Island, which is going to be a summer resort for people to come and visit and spend their time at. I asked her what the current situation with it was. I made a promotional video and put on the table a fee of $3 million to purchase said island. However, Princess came back with a rebuttal of $12 million.
Okay. Did any negotiations occur after the $12 million offer from Princess Elena?
They did. There was a decreased value of $8 million put on the table.
Wait, never mind. He might be.
But I didn't see it as worth my
You should
finances to
ask him to stand next to
Okay.
you
At the time, who did you think
and
owned
take
the
notes.
island in
How
question?
to hold
Blaine County.
people accountable.
What is your current understanding of who owns the islands?
The state of San Andreas.
At any point, did Mayor Elena bring up the fact that the islands were owned by the state?
She did not.
Yo, dude, this is so much fun.
And during a meeting, did you have any meetings discussing the island purchase?
We did. We did. Yes.
Okay, who was present?
Myself, Quentin Quantum, Princess Elena, and Benicio Delgado.
Were you surprised to see Benicio Delgado there?
I was.
And why were you surprised?
I didn't know at the time that Benicio was part of Princess Elena's cabinet. Later down the line, I did learn, however, due to the, I believe it's Royal Court of Blaine County legislation, that he is part of Princess Elena's cabinet.
Okay. And are you aware of Benicio Delgado's criminal history?
I am.
Do you find it odd that he is a member of a mayoral cabinet with this current criminal history?
Working in the position.
Objection, opinion of a layperson.
Rebuttal, he's not a layperson. We've established he works for one of the mayor's offices and has obviously been through the hiring process.
So does the janitor. Doesn't mean he's an expert on anything.
I'm no longer sure he's an expert on the law, if I'm being honest.
For my frame of reference, Wes, can you ask the question, the initial question, one more time?
Yep, absolutely. Do you find it odd that he, Benicio Delgado, is a member of a mayoral cabinet with his criminal history?
I don't know if we should have asked him
And
about
I'm sorry, Mr. Huntley, can you again express when Weiss asked you the question of what you do in your position? Can you answer that question one more time?
So I got to the point that said working in the position I have for the last 9 months, and that is when Murphy said objection.
No. I'm talking about like 4 or 5 questions ago.
What question again was that? Oh, what do I do? Sorry.
Yes.
I work in the mayor's cabinet, and I do a lot of the business related things for Los Santos County.
Ron, are you telling me you don't consider that the opinion of a non-lay person?
Oh, she
I don't take anything seriously that this witness has to say about anything.
Okay, well that's very clear.
Wow.
Your objection's overruled. Continue, Wes.
Okay, Mr. Huntley, and to remind you, the question was, do you find it odd that Benicio Delgado is a member of a mayoral cabinet with his criminal history?
I do. Working alongside Nino Chavez for the past 9 months, there was a clear set rule. If you were to work in a mayor's cabinet, you were to have a clean record. And following this, all hires that are brought on board to the Los Santos County mayor's cabinet have always had clean records.
And were you present in the courtroom earlier when I discussed the ACR and impeachment law with Justice Falconer?
That's how I know who's going to sell my guns.
I was deep in thought about taking a leak. I do apologize.
Okay, no problem. I'll skip that question, Your Honor. In your role
Is it
in
piss on the
Los
ground?
Santos County Mayor's office, you handle business applications. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a business application for a state-owned business that you have received?
I have not.
Are you aware of any business applications for a state-owned business?
I am.
Can you explain that, please?
So during a mayoral cabinet meeting, it came across to my attention that a business application was put forward for Twatter.
Okay. Was that application approved?
To my knowledge, it was, yes.
Was any of that discussed with the Los Santos County Mayor's office, considering this is a state-owned, statewide telecommunications utility?
To my knowledge, it was not.
Perfect. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. All right, defense.
Are there checks and balances for business applications, Mr. Huntley?
Checks and balances, come again?
Are there checks and balances? You know, the type you have in government, the thing you work for, Mr. Huntley? Are there checks and balances in
It's a
place regarding business applications?
Unbounded
Your
question.
expressed
He
area
is the
of
check and balance.
extreme
What the fuck is
expertise.
his problem?
No.
Do you understand my vague question
You do know
very
how a
clearly?
government works, don't you, Mr. Huntley?
I do, yes.
You know there are different branches of government which infringe upon each other at times to ensure balance, correct?
I am the check and balance. I go through business applications such as yourselves and go through
That
and
was
check.
kind of giga chat. I am the
before-
checks and
The
balances.
question is a yes or no
Oh,
question,
hell
Mr.
no.
Huntley.
Objection,
yes or no.
Your
Are you
Honor,
aware of checks
badgering.
and balance.
Yeah, there's an
He's
objection on the floor.
non-responsive, Your Honor.
He has been attempting to respond to the best of his ability, Braun.
It's a yes or no question. I wasn't asking for his life story, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's.
If I tattoo a
Take a
suit
step
on my
back,
cock, do you
ask
think
the
I could get a
question
bar
again.
license?
Uh,
Murray, do you think we could do that?
Respond yes or no, please.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay, so to finish the story that you started with the prosecution, what occurred with this state business application of Twatter, which supposedly was approved?
That's something to ask Princess Elena because it was approved through her office.
Okay, well, was it ultimately approved is what I'm asking, or did something intervene?
I don't think he
It was
realizes that
approved,
there's two
but it was
approvals.
approved by Princess Elena.
Okay,
Yeah.
but after
This guy
that,
is so cooked,
obviously
man.
it is a state-owned business and cannot be approved. Did anything happen subsequent to that?
It did not.
Yeah, I called Helen and told her you can't do that.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Huntley, are you aware of any laws
Wait,
prohibiting
It doesn't make
cabinet
it
members
any
from
less
having
fraud.
criminal record?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So is that merely a
Is it
policy
evidence
of
tampered if I
the
reject
Chavez
that business
administration?
proposal?
which you referenced?
It is a policy of the Chavez administration, yes.
Probably is.
Okay. So your surprise at Mr. Delgado being a part of the cabinet was not based on any legal concern.
No, there was a legal concern.
Okay. Care to elaborate on that?
Happily so. If you are someone with felonies, not only that, but violent felonies, and you're making important decisions for the state of San Andreas, I personally feel that there is a conflict of interest.
Okay. So is it not within the power of the government or any citizen to impeach such a person if they feel
Wait, isn't that happening right now?
It is.
That's why it's what?
Okay.
That's
So
why we're here, man.
That's
if you
why
have
we're
such
here.
concerns, then why didn't you file articles of impeachment against Mr. Delgado?
Huh? But his
What I
boss.
will say to that is, if I'm being perfectly honest, my knowledge of the legislation in regards to that, I know that if I'm being perfectly honest, would be non-beneficial for someone like me to go forward and do that, especially in the position that I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a good answer.
Now, this is a tough one. Did Princess Elena, mayor of Blaine County, sell you an island owned by the state?
She did not.
Did she try to?
Okay. Glad we cleared that out.
Tough one. What a fucking cunt. I fucking hate this guy.
All right. Anything here? Wes?
Yeah.
Very briefly, Your
Yo,
Honor.
yo, Michael, chill.
Mr. Huntley, are you familiar with reasons members of government can be impeached?
I am.
Keep in mind, Michael's been
Is
dealing
one
with.
of those reasons
Yeah.
having a violent felony criminal record?
Yes, that can be a reason, yes.
And if you were hiring someone for Los Santos County and or participating in the hiring process, and they were found to have a violent criminal felony record, and you hired them anyway and they were subsequently impeached, do you think that would damage the position of government or authority?
I do believe it would, yes.
Why?
I believe that having someone on your cabinet with a violent felony or a non-violent felony is a poor look, as they're there to serve the county, and serving and doing things outside of the law is very non-beneficial towards the state of San Andreas.
Okay. And do you well, we've discussed that you approve business applications, yes?
Yes.
And in that process, can you explain how that whole process works from when an application comes in until they finally have the license granted?
Yep, absolutely no problems. So there is a systematic way that you would need to do it. Firstly, you would head onto your tablet on your and go to your business app. You would fill in your business name, a description of your business, where your business will be operating from, as well as a logo for your business. From there, you would then head over to the government website, lossantos.me. You would fill in a form to show how your business will be operating and a general description of your business, which include a very detailed document on what your business actually is. From there, it will be read over by myself and some of the Los Santos County Mayor's cabinet, and will be given the green light or red light. Red light, and then reapplied, and then green light. And once it's been given the green light, you would speak to a judge, and the judge would bill you a $50,000 fee, and then from there, you would get your business license and account.
Is it your understanding in this process that the job of the mayor's office is just to approve anything they like and let the judges sort out the legalities?
Sorry, repeat the question one more time.
Sure. Is it your opinion that it is the role of the mayor's office in this process to essentially approve everything that they want to?
Call
and let
me.
The judges
I'm sure we
sort
can
out the
discuss a pension
Objection, opinion of a layperson.
plan.
The witness is established. He doesn't know anything about
We can't
legislation,
let-
and he definitely doesn't know anything about being a justice.
Guys fucking wrote legislation.
Rebuttal, Your Honor. A, the witness has not established that. B, we're not talking about justices. We're talking about judges. And C, he handles business applications for the county, a fact already established in a prior objection for the same reason.
All right.
Your
okay.
Honor, he's already established
guys,
his inability to
stop,
answer basic
stop,
questions.
Stop. I'm literally saying stop.
Oh my god.
I want you to rephrase the question.
Oh,
I think we
you're
all
so
solve
getting
a lot of
contempt.
this.
He
Thank
just had
you.
to say stop 5 times.
Mr. Huntley.
No way.
Is your role to approve every application and let the judges sort out whether or not it's legal? Or is it to review the application and check for these things as a first check?
Objection, compound, question, and leading.
He is right on both fronts, Wes. I'm
All
giving
right,
you
I'll
opportunity
rephrase
to
again. I'll
rephrase
break it.
one last
Yeah.
time. Thank you.
Apologies, Your Honor. Mr. Huntley, is it your role to review applications?
Yes.
Is part of that role to figure out if there is a legal issue with the business prior to it moving forward through the process?
Yes.
Do you believe that that is part of a check and balance system when it comes to business applications?
I do.
Does the fact that there is another check past that mean you shouldn't do your check first?
It's crucial to ensure that you do your check first. It's your job.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Yeah, he just.
How the fuck would you find this guy like just the first time we met him, he just came over and was like, "Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I want to make
Apologies, I'm
change a
catching up
couple
on notes. Give me
things,"
just a moment.
and like that was like
Come
2
on,
months
Junior,
ago.
Come on. It's a good one.
Yeah, he watched a court case of mine. He became kitty tail, and I
Huntley, you're
bugged
good to
everyone
step
to
down, I
hire him.
believe.
That's hunger right there. You know what I mean?
No, I'll fuck with this guy.
You on drugs?
Your Honor, the
Huntley?
prosecution calls Opal Price when you're
Where'd you
ready.
go? Where'd you grow your balls all of a sudden?
Price, come on up.
That was impressive. It's like you grew up like in a span of a couple hours.
Nah, I don't know.
Tifa, do you need a moment?
Yeah, when I did his bar exam, I thought this guy paid himself blue and wear a white hat at the weekends or something.
You did well,
We're
Junior.
in court 2
It was,
days ago. You'll be fine.
And I won 2 days ago.
Oh my god. Anyways, please raise your left hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole
It's
truth,
gonna
and
be
nothing but the
sad,
truth, so
chat.
help you, Nikita?
This is probably the last like moment.
Sworn in.
Like we're
Alright,
sort of
yeah.
all together and shit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Sergeant Price, do you work for a law enforcement
We're letting him
agency?
go
Yes,
to
I
become
do.
mayors themselves,
Which law
Chad.
enforcement agency?
Los Santos Police Department.
Good question.
What is your rank and position in that department?
They're both running now.
Oh, where do I start? Well, I'm a sergeant. I run Tier T. I run motor. I'm the shift lead for L1. I have every single cert. You know.
Objection.
The
Some might
artist,
call me the
the
favorite
guy
child.
that ran
What
a
is the role of
random
TRT?
like like
So we're the tactical
liquor
Hormone
store.
replacement,
team.
right?
We deal with
The tow
high-stress
driver.
situations,
It's actually
you know,
insane.
such as shootouts, or anything, you know, like that.
Would that include terror attacks?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Have you personally overseen and executed successful operations to stop terror attacks?
Not to boast, you know, my own ego or anything, but I have.
Okay. And I want you to think about specifically the attacks conducted by the League of Evil. Post their attacks, did you conduct interrogations of members of the League of Evil?
Yes, I did.
Were those interrogations recorded?
Yes, they were.
Were they placed into a report?
I believe so.
And was that report referenced in the reports for this case?
I do believe so.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm just going to issue a general objection for time. That could have been one question, all of that. Is this shit in evidence?
The objections are eating more time,
Your
bruh.
Honor, the rebuttal would be I've been attempting to save time by not going deeply into backgrounds and processes, and they have resulted in multiple objections of layperson.
Yep.
Your Honor, I hardly see how
Yeah.
that applies to this
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
in
confused
evidence.
what this objection even is at this moment.
Yeah.
What exact issue do you have, Bron?
Does he have somewhere to go? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, but he asked 4 questions just to establish something was in evidence.
This fucking argument is
That's
taking up the
what's in
fucking time, motherfucker.
Does
Wonder
Braun
if
know
he
what
can
the
spell
foundation
lawyer.
is?
We're already past this. It doesn't matter,
By the way, with this food at your chair.
right?
Yeah.
We're wasting more time by talking about this.
Yes,
than let's just continue on with
exactly.
the proceedings.
Permission to proceed, Your Honor.
Please do.
Wait, does it say
Okay,
cooked
during
or
those
cooking?
interrogations, Sergeant Price, did they reference any elected officials as being part of their organization?
Yes, I did.
You're sick.
Okay, and what specifically was the names they mentioned?
I believe the names mentioned were Princess Elena, the broader Blaine County government, and specifically Party Hardy.
Okay. What did they say was the involvement of
Oh,
Princess
fuck.
Elena?
Hey, Prince,
They more or
Braun is
less said
actually
something
quite
to the
good,
extent of that she was
except
paying
when it
them
comes to
or
technicality,
promising them
which is
payment
why
in
him and
order
Silas
to,
together were
leave
very
Blaine
good.
County alone and only do what they're doing down in Los Angeles County.
Okay, to your knowledge, did they ever say that Princess Elena was helping to fund the attacks?
I'm not sure if it was said that she was directly funding it, but she was directly, according to them, aware of the attacks that they were going to happen and was providing them with or promising them a considerable sum of money to not do so in Blaine County.
Okay. Was Yuri Popov one of the suspects you interrogated?
Yes.
Who specifically was the main suspect that named Princess Elena?
Yuri Popov.
To your knowledge, what was Yuri Popov's role in the League of Evil?
He seemed kind of like the leader of the whole thing. Basically every point of contact we have had with them throughout all these incidents has been through him. He was the one to reach out during the first attack and demand money from Los Angeles County. So it's just kind of been him as our point of contact.
Would you say that Yuri Popov would be someone in that organization with the knowledge of the involvement of Princess Elena?
If there was anyone to know the involvement of anyone or anything that the League of Evil was doing, I would say it would be Yuri.
Okay. And at the time these statements were originally made, was there
Guilty
any
or not
other
guilty,
supporting
chat?
evidence of this?
I do not believe so, which is why I initially just shrugged at it. Obviously took note of it, but more so shrugged at it.
And during those investigations, did you ever subpoena the records of Princess Elena?
Wait, I think I'm doing the right thing today. Hope I'm making you proud.
Okay.
Wait,
And
oh
were
my
you
god,
surprised,
chat!
when during
I
this
was
investigation,
really
which started initially
proud
with
of
the bank
your
records,
confidence
that
up
we
there
did indeed
against
recover
Braun.
evidence in a subpoena of
Oh
Princess
my
Elena's
god!
phone
A
records relating to
legislated
these
member of the
attacks.
Blaine County Mayor's office just admit to being at the League of Evil meetings?
I don't know if
Objection.
surprise-
Yeah.
Confusing.
What? Wait.
Ocelot on Twitter?
Rebuttal? The was answering the
What?
question?
All right, point of clarification.
Yo, incoming
Sergeant Price, were you
continuance.
confused?
No.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah.
ask the question. Overruled.
Okay. Oh, sorry. This is your part.
No problem. Were you surprised that when this current investigation began and we subpoenaed Princess Elena's phone records that we discovered evidence relating to the involvement with League of Evil?
Not so much surprised. Because obviously it had been spelled out to me multiple times. I was more so disappointed in myself.
Back in the day, you couldn't
for
use twatter in court cases. I'm glad they
not just
can
spelled
because
out, but why
there's
literally
it
given
keeps
to me
people
by
quiet
someone
and it's
louder.
funny as fuck.
And is that partially due to your concern about the credibility of a subject in interrogation naming other people as involved?
Yes.
And what you were looking for was third-party evidence to support or deny those claims, correct?
Yes, I was looking for anything that wasn't coming out of someone that had just been charged with terrorism.
Okay. And did other individuals during their interrogations also reference having a mayor as a member of the League of Evil?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so we're going to focus specifically on the Muir Park Dam bombing. Who was in overall control of the law enforcement response to that attack?
That would have been me.
Was Princess Elena made aware of or involved in the response of the Muir Park Dam bombing?
She was not made aware of it by me or through orders given by me. As far as I am aware, no one had told her.
What the fuck?
Okay. And outside of the operators and individuals directly involved, at any point were the potential identities of the perpetrators released or made available to the public or a wider
Wait, Michael's
audience?
last twat?
The only thing
Law
that
degrees, hot
would
off the
or
press
could
from
have made their names public prior to everything obviously going up on the docket would have been
Yo, this fucking
the
guy.
newspapers, but I'm not sure if we if it gets written down if they're being sent on an investigative hold, which I believe was the case for the Mayor Pro Tem incident.
But none of that would have occurred during the incident itself. Is that correct?
No, this would have been hours after because we had long interrogations to do.
Okay. Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.